Here we are again. Nice to be with you tonight. And I trust you'll be blessed, and my heart will be blessed too. I was just starting to read through the Psalms the other day, and I felt really quickened by the Holy Spirit to share with you tonight, because it seems like it's very appropriate to the day that we are living in. We are living in a day of opposites, the good and the evil. And it seems like the evil is certainly all out these days. Well, let's see what God has to say about it. First of all, he says, he talks to the blessed man. Blessed is the man that walks not in the counsel of the ungodly. Where do you go to talk to about your ideas and what you ought to do? Nor standeth in the way of sinners, or sitteth in the seat of the scornful. I hear a lot of scorn today against the blessed man. But his delight, now look at this, his delight is in the law of the Lord, and in this law does he meditate day and night. What do you think about? What gets you up in the morning? What makes you say, good morning, God, thank you for a good night's rest? In this law, he meditates day and night. And what is he going to be like? A tree that's planted. You know, and it's in a tree that's planted by the river. Now, why do you suppose it's because of river? Because the water, and Jesus is the water, feeds into the tree stands upright, and it has branches for the birds and the animals to be under, and it says it brings forth fruit. It accomplishes something. I don't think that as believers we should live without fruit. We ought to expect fruit in our lives. It's normal. And brings forth fruit in its season, and its leaf will not wither, and whatsoever he doeth will prosper. Wow. Now that didn't just say one thing. I mean, that was whatever you're doing, whatever your work, your marriage, your fathering or mothering, your relationships. Yeah, whatever you do will prosper. Because you're like the tree that's planted by the river. Okay, what a wonderful, but now here's the contrast. The ungodly are not so. They're just like the chaff. The wind drives away. They're not by the river. Therefore, what's the result? It says the ungodly shall not stand in the judgment. Oh. I mean, as sure as we are alive, we are headed toward either the judgment or either the welcome home, child. Well done. One or the other. They'll not stand nor sinners in the congregation of the right, but the Lord knows the way of the righteous. Do you know he knows every thought you think? He knows your... The Bible said he knows your downsetting, your uprising. So there's nothing that God doesn't know. He knows your thoughts afar off. You thought, oh, he can't know all my thoughts. I think too many. Yes, he does. He knows every thought you think. But the way of the ungodly will perish. Now that doesn't make us very happy. But now David is really confused a little bit. And he asks this question. Why? Why do the heathen rage? And the people imagine a vain thing. They take it up as their cause. It becomes their cause in the earth. They're heathens. You know, they wouldn't think of letting the believer alone or letting the things of God alone. No, they have to come against it. The Bible said they rage and they imagine a vain thing. And then they said the kings of the earth, they take counsel together against the Lord and his anointed, saying, let's break them. Let's break their bands. All right, now we're coming to the contrast again. What's God saying? He's hearing it all. And he said, he that sits in the heaven will laugh. It's so ridiculous to God. God's created the world long before you were ever born. The Bible said he knew all your parts. I mean, God is God. Now, he said he will, in his wrath, so God has a wrath side, and he will vex them in his sorry pleasure. But he said, yet have I set my king upon my holy mountain. You know, that's Jesus. Now, I've been to Israel, and Jerusalem, where Jesus will reign, is up on a high plateau. It's real high, and it's not a large place, but the Bible said he will reign from Jerusalem. And the country itself is only about the size of New Jersey, and yet the whole world wants to either destroy it or to have it for theirs. There's something else that ought to tell you that God will have his way. And so he said, the Lord hath said, thou art my son, and I have begotten thee. Then he'd come say, well, all right, how about the believer? We'll come back to them now. What's their rewards? He said, ask of me. Ask, and I shall give you the heathen. The very ones that are trying to destroy. The Bible said, you can do something about it. You can ask of him, and he will give you the heathen for thy and the uttermost part of the earth. I love to give for the persecuted church. The Syrians, for instance, the terrible, terrible plight of the displaced children. They have no place to go. They've been displaced and they're persecuted. Yes. And he said, and the uttermost part of the earth for thy possession. Thou wilt break them with a rod of iron. Now he said, let's look here. And I want to tell you, in case you haven't really paid much attention, that they are against the Lord, against his known, and that would include the righteous, okay? Why did the heathen rage? Well, all right, here's one of the ragers. There's a freedom from religion. It's an action group from all religion. They want no religion in our country. And that is a fast-growing action group. Freedom from religion. Here's another one. The heathen have taken him out of the schools. You can't take a Bible. You can't say the name of God. They study things that are contrary to our faith. They don't study about the early part of our history. They're really devoid of these things. They can't even say Merry Christmas. My goodness. Now here, they've taken the commandments. They're no longer allowed in a public place. They have to be removed. Here's another one. The graduation exercises. There is no mention of God allowed. There already used to be something that would close it out. I don't know how they close it out, but they close it out without any mention of God whatsoever. It's a law. Here's another one. They want to take under God out of our Pledge of Allegiance. Yeah, one nation under God. Yeah. Here's another one. It's forbidden, this makes me really sorry, forbidden for chaplains to comfort and prepare soldiers for combat. And they will demote the chaplains that try it. They have to be removed, and it's a law. The heathen are here, and they are raging. And they're raging loudly. And the Bible said that they imagine a vain thing. They have embraced lies. Now, let me ask you this question. Can you and I stop God? That's what they're trying to do. Of course not. He will have the last word. God always has the word. Yes. And therefore, there will always be the against factor, but the against factor is getting stronger and stronger every day. Now, when Jesus came, they didn't perceive Jesus either. And it was the religious crowd that came against him. And he was the way, he was the truth, he was the life. Pilate stood before him, before he condemned him, and he was crucified, and he said, what is truth? And I thought, Pilate, you were looking at truth, and you didn't know it. And I don't think Pilate washed his hands of that death forever and ever. So, let's look at the contrast. God will show his wrath side. You say, does God have a wrath side? I thought he was a good God. He's good even in his wrath. There isn't any more for us that he could do than he's already done. He gave the best he had when he gave Jesus. And he will always have the last word. Now, when he said to us, what is our gain? All right, he already told us what our gain. Ask of me. And I think that we ask and you shall receive. Now, let's see. Here, down here, he said, serve the Lord. This is what he said. He said, be wise. Serve the Lord with fear. Fear is humbleness. Fear is reverence when it comes to God. Serve the Lord with fear and rejoice with trembling. Now this last one is so lovable. Kiss the Son, lest he be angry with you and you perish from the way, when his wrath is kindled but a little. Blessed are they that put their trust in him. So, which side are you on? I was thinking of the song relating to this. Behold, I stand at the door and knock. And if any man hears my voice, I will come in to him. I will receive him, and he with me. So I'm going to close with that and trust that latch is on the inside. Jesus doesn't open the door. He just knocks on it. God knocking on your door? Behold, I stand at the door and knock. And if any man hears my voice, I will come into him and sup with him, and he will sup with me. I stand at the door and knock, and if any man hears my voice, if any man hears my voice, I will come in to him and sup with him, and he will sup with me. Oh, how he wants to come in. He's at the door. He knocks. Let him in. Have a great day.